All right, welcome back. This is the Professor Darren, once again, still at the Apalachicola Cemetery. So we're going to attempt to do something here. I've got the portable SLS camera up and running, and we're going to see if we actually have audio recording at the same time. I tried to get a hold of Kim, and squirrel, she was gone. So Kim's off doing her own little adventure. Mark's in the truck working on his novel, some pretty good stuff. It's a lot of conspiracy theory, UFO, fun stories. So lots of detail, lots of imagery, and definitely makes you think a little bit. So cool stuff. Got to read his first 8 chapters yesterday, so he's going to work on some of that as we wander around the cemetery a little longer. Once again, one of the most haunted cemeteries in all of Florida happens to be in the town we're staying, Port St. Joe. So the St. Joe Cemetery with the captain's grave, and then Apalachicola. So tons and tons of history. So a lot of these markers, well over 200 years, 220, 250 years. So interesting stuff. So getting back to the SLS camera, yeah, it just points multiple beams ahead. And if you think about the sensors on your new cameras, as long as you're using multiple point for autofocus, so it's sending out 30, 40, 50 different beams and trying to focus using what it contacts and bring that into focus. So the concept here is those same beams going forward, looking for dots, things to attach itself to. Once it finds that, next thing you know, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, a neck, torso, and a head. So yeah, just kind of walking around the cemetery here, finding interesting stuff. And like I said, trying the SLS camera. So once again, we got some light there. We got something off in front of that marker in front of us. So we're going to head over to that. See if it's an actual recording or if we have another false positive. So once again, you cannot move these SLS cameras around, because then it just kind of tries to create its own images. So all they look interesting might not actually be accurate. So now we're back up to, it's like something Richards, Company B, and oh, look at that. We have a lizard on the cemetery stone. So right on the, oh, we got multiple lizards. All right, as long as they stay there, we'll be happy. So 4th Florida Cavalry. I cannot see a year on that, but boy, that one is old. And that actually looks like a replacement marker for the original marker, which looks like it's, wow, 250 some years old. Wow. All right, so we're going to give the lizards here a little bit of a berth as we go around. So we have the lizards, then we have the dead armadillo. Oh, lizards just ran around the back of that one. So try to get the SLS camera back in front. Once again, trying to keep it totally stationary. Okay, no readings on that. Do a quick pan over here. Okay, now that's interesting. We have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, and a torso. In between, nothing. So it's the left of a cemetery headstone to the right of a tree. So there's nothing there that would actually put that image together. So I'm going to try to maintain my ninja walk. So ninja walk is where you try to maintain your camera as steady as possible. Okay, so this SLS stick figure, wow. Okay, this thing actually rocked around the back of the huge headstone. So it started out between the tree and the headstone marker, about halfway in the middle, and then physically moved around back as I'm standing here. So I'm not moving, and the stick figure walked around the back of this headstone. So let me see if I can switch locations here. Okay, there it went again. Okay, so it was behind this big headstone, and it physically walked toward this old monument here that looks like a petrified tree. Alright, so we're going to walk over to this petrified tree. Okay, so once again, I want to be courteous. I'll just be stepping anywhere. So we're going to walk around the back of these headstones here. So we have non-outlined family crypt. Then we have an outlined family crypt. Looks like we have some newer white marble headstones. DW Corps. Looks like 5th Infantry CSA. Can't see the year on that. Oh, then we have the Reverend. Forgot about the Reverend's grave. So, Reverend D.W. Corr, born January 31st, 1834, died April 28th, 1887. So, 53 years old. Asleep in Jesus. Then we have Corr Herbert. Oh, Herbert Corr. Interesting, they put the family name, surname up on top of the marker. That's different. So, born October 30th, 1879, died September 7th, 1880. Then they have nickname there, Daisy. Okay, so going back to the front of this petrified tree-looking type of a headstone. And Dum Tasse Clamat. George W. Son. This is the Reverend's son. So born November 27th, 1877, died March 1st, 1902. Okay, so going back, and so here we have Kim. You have a perfect SLS figure there. You can see how the software actually works. Oh. And so, as I said, I had an SLS figure. Okay. It started between that marker and the tree, so there was nothing for it to attach to. Okay. It walked around the back of that headstone. When I came over there, it disappeared. Then I caught it walking over to this petrified tree-looking monument.
We had one here before at this monument.
Yeah, and I don't think I used the SLS camera last time, so interesting. So, like I said, a little bit of activity here, even in the daytime. The daytime where you will not get convicted or evicted, arrested or neglected. So, yeah. Alright, so we're going to do a couple more scans here. So now I've got, looks like probably a false positive. We got a stick figure over at that monument over there, but it looks like it's just moving points on the monument itself, so that would not be accurate. Once again, it does get you excited looking at it, but yeah, not inaccurate. It's kind of like the orbs people catch on their cameras. A lot of times just dust specks walking around places and, you know, unsettling dust and dirt, and starts floating around the air. Hits a little bit of light and, you know, it looks like an orb. Now the actual orb that we did catch over at the Fat Cow, interesting. It moves in multiple directions, curves, you know, not straight lines, which would kind of lend itself to being either just a point in light or, like I said, a dust particle. So you get those curves, or when it stops, and they were able to actually blow that up. And, you know, the imagination is a fun tool, but to me it looked like there was a face in there. Okay, and once again, there's Kim down the way, and, you know, the SLS is making a really nice stick figure out of her. So once again, you see how the technology works. You know, just looks for points, arms, torso, neck, legs. Occasionally you do get hands, so interesting, and then the head. So once again, as far as some of the stuff we have caught with these SLS cameras, a full-blown version, our big commercial version that we market. So using military grade laptops, basically super heavy duty stuff. You can drop the laptop from 10 feet. So more of a tablet type of thing. And then upgraded SLS Connect cameras. So they connect 360s. Do a little bit of shielding on the wiring. So it prevents a little bit of the false readings. Once again, do have to maintain somewhat calm positioning. Don't move, don't wiggle too fast. If you are moving, you attempt to do the ninja walk where it's as smooth as possible. And then we get the best readings. Okay, so a couple things here in the cemetery, so I do think we're going to wrap it up. And probably head back to Port St. Joe. Okay, we do have one more stick figure there next to that. So it's before the marker, not on the marker, so it's not creating points out of the marker. So let's see what we have over here. So just about the time we're going to wrap it up, we find something else. So patience. So a newer one, Joseph A. Vincent, March 28th, 1869, and died December 13th, 1936. All right, so once again, phenomenal cemetery here down in Apalachicola, Florida. These trees are just absolutely gorgeous and totally add to the character and flavor of the place itself. So once again, paying our respects. So if anything was here, you will not, cannot, may not come with us, attach yourselves to us. Once again, may not, will not, cannot attach yourself to us. You must stay here. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Be safe, behave, and remember, it's always an adventure.